Hello, welcome everybody to the second Social Siesta webinar. We are organizing these short afternoon webinars in the framework of the Interreg Central project called C Responsible. We are partners from 9 Central European regions. Very different organizations presenting research, NGOs, support institutions, and also companies. We are one of the many projects in the Interreg Central Europe that is focused on supporting social innovation and social economy and social entrepreneurs in our regions. Our specific task is that mainly in the project we deal with enhancing cooperation between 3 different types of entrepreneurs. Social entrepreneurs, NGOs that are more locally oriented, and also for-profit companies which have a social responsibility and CCR responsibility on their agenda. So these are the 3 main characteristics of our project. Besides the event like today, we had also trainings related to improving innovation capacities of social entrepreneurs, and special courses for for-profit companies if they would like to enhance their cooperation with social entrepreneurs. So how to establish and enhance this cooperation between these 2 groups. One also important activity in our project is that we also established a Central European Association that supports, let's say, socially responsible entrepreneurs through Europe. And the partners are the founding members. But we are also inviting individuals and organizations from all the Europe to join this initiative. And the goal of the initiative is that we would really like to support entrepreneurs in EU that have the same values as we present. So being socially responsible, being environmentally responsible, being responsible towards the people that you work with, business partners, and also your employees. So today I will also share the link of where you can find all about our association. And you are welcome to join if you have the same values, the same beliefs as we would like to present and enhance. So that's from my side. Thank you.
Fantastic. Thanks so much, Anja. Yeah, our project C Responsible in our website, netforsocialimpact.eu. This is like the first starting page, but we really want to have this very interactive discussion so you can see who is behind the project on the website. My name is Thorsten. I'm from Ecosome. We are one of the project partners based in Germany. And yeah, my colleague Wolfgang and I, we are supporting social entrepreneurs also in their communication strategies, but mostly we focus on crowdfunding. And crowdfunding is where we know our first speaker from, Kristina from Croatia. Kristina has sort of invented crowdfunding in Croatia because she was the first to open the crowdfunding academy, to support many non-profit organizations in developing a financing strategy, raising funds, also supporting social entrepreneurs. And Kristina has worked extensively also in non-profits themselves, has work experience there, and has supported the communication strategy. So Kristina, I'm really happy that you joined us here today. So in terms of communication, maybe you could maybe introduce yourself a little bit more specifically about the nonprofits that you are working for right now. But what I would like to know is, you know, what are good examples of communication strategies that you have come across, which you think really achieved the goal of reaching out to new customers and new partners?
Thank you, Karsten, for this amazing introduction. I'm really excited and honored to be here today with you, especially because good campaigns and good communications are something I really like talking about. I'm really passionate about it and follow different kind of news related to that, and also it is my work. So, and when I say that, I mean good communications, communications that are related to social and environmental causes, but also good in sort of expert way that you are really reaching the goal that you want to reach through your communication campaigns and strategies. So it will be a pleasure to discuss this with you today. So far, as Karsten said, I've been working a lot in the field of crowdfunding, but basically in the past 7 years, I've been working with both civic initiatives, NGOs, social enterprises, also some bigger international organizations on their communications and crowdfunding projects. Currently, I'm working as a communications manager in the Green Energy Cooperative. It's a cooperative based here in Zagreb, Croatia, that promotes community and solar energy. And I have been working on projects in different fields in education, LGBT rights, gender equality, low carbon development, different kind of topics. Since I'm myself passionate about a lot of them, I will now share some examples that are kind of combining different kind of approaches that I find relevant for any type of organization that is involved in some kind of social developmental work, things that are relevant in their communications. Okay, I will share my short presentation. Just a moment. Okay. First of all, when thinking about communicating effectively when it comes to social enterprises, it's not that easy to come across some mind-blowing examples that are like, wow, this is such an amazing campaign. And not because social enterprises don't necessarily have the capacity to develop something like that. I think it's maybe more related to sometimes their resources or state of development that they are in. So at some points they are maybe not still able to come to that phase when they're where they are producing something that is really outstanding in a communications way. And by that, when I say that outstanding, I mean examples that are really, you know, reaching wide audiences, not maybe some smaller circle that they are revolving around. And that is completely okay. I think it is already something that they should be recognized for and congratulated for is if they are handling the communications basics. And when I say that, I mean having defined yourself as a brand, what you stand for, what you're promising to your audiences, what are your main communication messages, who are your audiences, do you have defined your visual identity, your communication and graphic standards, have you set up your communication channels such as your website, which is your basically identity card on the internet, your social media profiles, and so on. I think with the amount of ambition and the work that social enterprises sometimes have, this is already achievement for them to set up these things. I have been following quite a lot of social enterprises here in Croatia, but also when I managed to catch a chance of those also throughout the Europe and beyond Europe. I find many organizations that are really fitting this standard, that they are handling basics very well. I have mentioned here some examples. For example, Alter Eco, this is a French brand of organic chocolate. When you see their website, when you see their social media profiles, I think they have all of these things that I mentioned so far, they have set it up. For example, also Enercop, which I think has a really clean, very well set up website, which can be used especially as an example for energy cooperatives, especially since I work in this field, and I really come across different websites in this area. And for example, Enercop is for me a really good example of a well-established website in this area. Also, for example, Act Konto, this is a Croatian social enterprise that I'm following already now for a few years. And in the last year or two, maybe a bit even more, I have seen a total twist in their communication and how they are really now standing out with their visual identity, with the type of stories that they're sharing on social media. Like, I'm not myself somebody who is interested that much in accounting, which is their primary work. But I have started to read their posts about accounting and actually try to kind of grasp something out of that, because I think they're really doing it well now. And also I'm inspired by some of their work in the communications work that I do for my organization. I think for also using different communication channels and handling different communication channels sometimes can be very challenging for social enterprises. Sometimes they're super focused on their website. Sometimes they're super focused on their Facebook page and other social media channels. And some of them are doing really well in mailing. So I think it's a challenge for them maybe to kind of combine all of that together, which is really important, because you should really be able to communicate the same message over different channels to communicate effectively. To highlight some example like that, this is Solar United Neighbors. This is not a social enterprise, but it's a non-profit whose newsletter I read quite often, even though I myself am not planning to install a solar power plant at my home. But I still find their messages and how they are trying to engage me into conversation with them, I think it's very good. For example, here I have highlighted one email, how they are mentioning examples from their own life here, what motivated them to become engaged in this work, sharing stories from people from their community who have installed solar, but also the fact that the executive director is talking to me in official newsletter. I think that's also quite great and makes me feel like this is really, really important that this person is talking directly to me. So I think, for example, this is a good example for me in the mailing area. But as I said, in these basic aspects, I think there are a lot of examples that can be really looked up to by other social enterprises. Of course, I have to mention one of my personal favorites, which is Fierce Women. This is a social enterprise that has developed a social card game that promotes accomplishments of women throughout history. They have had a very successful crowdfunding campaign, but they're still continuing their communication, and they have set up a yearly award for Fierce Women from our region. So basically they are providing an opportunity to people from all over Croatia to nominate Fierce Women. So anybody can nominate, and then they are promoting the women that are nominated, and then finally they are giving the ones that are chosen the awards. And you see these pictures that they have. This is basically a design made by Croatian designers, their illustration, which is also used on the card game. So every woman in the card game is presented through a unique illustration. So I think this is also a very cool example of a communication activity, which is not like this basic communication when you are just basically presenting yourself, who you are, but this is maybe going a step forward, connecting your primary cause to the promotion of the product that you have. So yeah, this is one level of things, but I think what is important for social enterprises is to become more recognized and also to achieve their goals is maybe going a step forward from that, going that extra mile in communications, becoming a bit more creative in trying to reach your audience. I have come across a really interesting example in a LinkedIn conversation a few days ago about the brand Veja. I hope I have pronounced the name well. This is a sneakers brand, which basically has stated that they are not going to invest in their marketing. They are saying that big sneaker brands, they are investing 70% of their money into marketing, and they have decided to invest this money in their production process in order for it to be more sustainable and more fair. So I think this is a very interesting approach, although I have to say, if you Google their work a bit, you can see that they are definitely investing some money in marketing. Like, they have high quality pictures, videos, a well-established website, and so on. So they are doing something, but they have this statement towards the audience that makes the story a bit more interesting and also debatable. So I think this is like going that extra mile and trying to do a bit more in terms of presenting yourself to the audience, which may or may not be recognized. We will see that in the future. Another example, which I find really cool, especially because of the aspect of the tone of voice in your communication, is the brand of meat, not meat, but supplement product for meat, and it's called This. That's a UK product. I think they have a very unique tone of voice, which you can see it from the copy on their website, which I have highlighted here. It's also used in their communication on their social media channels. I think it's a tone of voice, really crafting your tone of voice and how you're going to present yourself to the audience. I think it can have quite a lot of impact on how you are perceived in the public, and getting people to engage into conversations with you, especially on social media, because oftentimes brands, they're trying to start some kind of conversation, or they're asking people some questions and so on. And sometimes, of course, we are not intrigued. But if you really manage in a right way to communicate and ask the right question, I think that can be very easily achievable. And I think this does it in a really cool way. What they are also doing really cool is how they are handling their competition. There is another brand in the UK market for meats as a meat supplement, which is called Quorn. And they have some, I have been Googling them a little bit. There are some aspects in their product process which is not completely vegan. So that's also part of the discussion about this brand. And it's very interesting how this uses their kind of downsides to mock them a bit among their audience, and trying to kind of make fun of them in the public. They have made a really cool video, which I would like to share with you to see an example of that. I hope this will work.
Yeah, me too. I hope Zoom lets us do this.
Do you see it?
No, we just see your slides, Kristina.
Okay, wait just a moment, then I will stop share for a moment. Wait.
And meanwhile, if you want, you can share also your LinkedIn contacts on your chat, by the way. I wanted to mention this. Okay, go ahead.
I will. Okay, so
yeah.
Okay, let's just start from the, wait, just a moment.
Maybe you can explain why you like this video so much, and people can check it out by themselves.
As I said, they are basically making fun of the other brand in this video.
Okay.
You'll see it the best on this example.
To enact 28. To a 0. Ready. For the ones, legs 11.
Bingo!
maybe just to wrap up, Kristina, because I want to give our other speakers a little bit of time. What did you like about this video? Why did you think it was innovative for the social entrepreneurship? Entrepreneur.
Because it was an interesting angle of how to handle your competition. I think it was, first of all, it was funny. I mean, they have found a city in the UK which is named the same as this brand, which is a really funny coincidence, and they have used it in their advantage.
Okay.
I think it's basically a low budget way of how to use this in your marketing. So. Okay. So yeah.
Thanks so much. There's really some great examples. We can take some more of these examples maybe in the Q&A, but I want to give a little bit time also to Karma and Thorsten. But thank you very much, Kristina, for time being. If you have any questions for Kristina, please use the chat. But also, as I said, just write, who you are in the chat as well, so we get to know you a little bit more. Use the Zoom chat. The next speaker is Karma. Karma is one of our pilot projects, which our Polish partner, they set up a competition to select very innovative social entrepreneurs and people who are really good at communication and who have also a history of connecting social entrepreneurs and larger institutions. And Karma has worked with a lot of different institutions and supported them. So Karma, I wanted to, maybe you can also say a few words about yourself, but when someone approaches you and says, we have a social business, social innovation, or we are a nonprofit organization, and we need your help to effectively communicate ourselves to our audience, what do you tell them, Karma?
To be honest, as honest as possible, because people would feel the false pictures and everything, So I'm sorry for my voice, but I'm suffering from a virus whose name I'm not going to mention on this chat. But hello, everyone. Good to see you here. And maybe I will skip the presenting myself, because you can see what I'm doing on my LinkedIn, and it's not about me, it's a part of my presentation. I'm going to say that it's not about me and my experience, it's about some good examples that worked in my case. And when I was following the list of those who signed up to be the part of the meeting, I've noticed my secondary school friend. I hope she's here. Magda, if you are here, just let me know on the chat. So I hope she's with us. And I really like the previous presentation, and Kristina, thanks for that. Fierce women, what a name, I also like the name, the colors, the originality of the women, so perfect. And the film, wow, fantastic, so it's about the English culture as well, they play bingo, they eat fish and chips, and me being the meat eater, finally I don't feel excluded, because now it's in fashion not to eat meat that much. So I will follow this on Facebook. So great communication, Kristina, because it worked, and I'm going to come back to the film for sure and use it in my future presentations. So if you ask me what I do to help people communicate better with their the customers, clients, whoever they have on the other side, I always give them the advice. Be honest, because in my opinion, this is the most important thing. I would like you to think of one person in your country, I mean the celebrity, who has got everything, the beauty, the talent, and still, they are not the favorite. Yeah. And this is exactly the same with the communication. We've got a lot of bad examples of communication, especially on Facebook, when I don't know if you have it in your countries, but in my country, the local governors, the local politicians, they employ external company to help them communicate better with their local societies. And it is so artificial. Goodness, my goodness, I come from a little village close to Kielce where I live, and I know how it works. I know the people in person, and my governor, the governor of my village is a great person, so he communicates quite well. but you know, this fashion is awful. They talk nonsense and they smile, they take pictures with beautiful people around saying, oh, how active we are, and then they take the pictures on the skis and they say, oh, today I was skiing, great, I invite you all. Whereas I know this person in person and he doesn't know even how to ski. So, you know, try to be honest while you communicate. And if something is wrong, just say it and share it, because otherwise people will feel it straight away. Yeah, so I would like everyone now, leave your coffees and yeah, show me your faces. So try to turn on your videos, and on the chat, try to write the synonym. Do you know what a synonym is? Exactly the same word, meaning the same thing as honest. Yes, I found 5 and one of them is my favorite, and there's a little competition going on. Try to write on the chat the synonym to the word honest. Yes. Yeah. So the first thing is try to be honest. Yeah, because otherwise people, yeah, you do the quiz, you follow I'll follow you on chat, and at the end I will come back to the 5 examples of the honest and synonym. But I don't want to have the gap in my presentation because I'm running out of time and I've got too little time.
No, we have time. That's so fine.
Yeah, but I've got a lot of things to say. You know.
Go ahead. Yeah. No,
ehrlich. Yeah, but it's in German. Yeah, try to fair, straight, sincere, genuine. Perfect. Frank, that was one of mine. Well done. Authentic, open, great. And do you know which is my favorite? Bona fide. You know, it comes from Latin, but bona fide is a beautiful word to say that. So when you communicate, try to be honest. Don't exaggerate, don't overestimate something, don't underestimate something. Okay, so being honest, I hope you would all understand what I was talking about. And the second one, while you communicate with people, whoever they are, as I said, I've got experience in NGOs, private companies, and public institutions. So it's very difficult to present all those ways of effective communication. But another is try not to be repetitive. Now let me show you something. I'll show you the Facebook of my association. You know, it's not perfect. As you can see, the quality of the picture is terrible. Look at it. It's me 10 years ago. It's my son. Look at his mimic, you know, terrible. We are showing off that we went to Paris. I need to change it, by the way. But, you know, I want to speak to you. Anyway, look, we are now a part of a professional campaign to communicate about one of the activity of my association, which is employing people with disabilities in Poland. And look, here it as it comes. You see, beautiful. It's the same blue color, the pictures bought from the internet. Yes, the content very concise, very communicative, very professional. Yes, whereas how many clicks? You know, like 381 only, activities 19, not very impressive. Yes, and the campaign costs quite a lot of money. So I'm saying that don't be repetitive, because people, when they see the same slide all the time, they just get bored. Yes, and they don't follow it anymore. And look, because there is a total mess on my page, yeah, on the association. In the meantime of the campaign, I'm trying to share something which we are also doing, like, for example, the project for young people and their sexuality, you know. And what I did, because I'm a big anti-posters with the logo of the European Union and stuff, I decided to do something more original. And I asked my friend, who is an artist, to paint something. I explained to her what the aims of the project are, and she painted this beautiful bird. Yes. And can you guess how many people clicked on it, reacted, and said, wow, what a fantastic, you know, picture of the subject, and we feel the emotions and stuff. What a trick. Yes. So I think it's a successful communication with people, because it was something innovative. And obviously it was not to attract the attention of people, but it was to attract the attention of those who would like to take part in the project. And in this project, with this beautiful handmade painting by somebody, by a person, or by computer graphic programs or whatever, it encouraged a lot of people, and it's a great success. We've got a lot of people on the list interested to discuss the topic, interested to take part in the activities. So this is again the example of a good communication. So try not to be repetitive, try to be original, and again, honest, bona fide, true, frank, sincere, genuine, authentic and stuff. Yes. So you can see that this poster had this number of clicks and 65 followers, and obviously the private messages. Yes. So I'm showing it only to show you how it is and how it should be. Another thing is, when you communicate with people, try not to concentrate on yourself. Yes. Try to concentrate on the product, on the activity, on the project that you would like to get the attention of, because sometimes people forget that it's not about themselves. Yes, we've got another example of politicians who always communicate with people through their beautiful Facebook pages. I'm not going to show one because people from my region would recognize the person who I'm talking about, and I don't want to be very critical, you know, about this approach. But again, sometimes we lose credibility, and sometimes there's a very slight border between being quite funny in the eyes of those people who look at you and your activities, because it's not about yourself, it's about the product, the project, whatever, you know. So try to avoid selfies when you go to skiing in Austria and you know, or how beautiful your wife is, or that you've got your animals. I know that animals and food sell well, you know, but as I proved to you, the beautiful painting also sold well on my site. So don't get the attention of people by showing what a good person you make, because you've got a cat and a dog and a beautiful wife, talented children, and a lot of skills. You are multi-skilled. In the morning you are skiing, then in the evening you are doing the bungee jump or whatever. Yes, in the time of the possibility of technical manipulation with the media, everything is possible, and we all can do everything, you know. So
Kama, maybe a quick question in between. So a lot of social entrepreneurs, they come with a question, you know, should we sell or should we communicate about our idea, about our product, our services, or about the people behind this, you know, like, so, and what would your advice be if someone comes and says, I have a wonderful product which will really help society, but I'm a little bit shy of presenting myself. I don't want to be too visible. What would you say to them?
Oh, that's a good thing, you know, because sometimes when you've got a good product, people understand that the product is not alive. It was created, or the project was created by people themselves. And the quality of the product, behind the quality of the product, there's a team. It's perfect to show the team. And it's perfect to underline that it's the people who created it. But as I'm saying, try not to be too aggressive with the image of the people doing different things, being very open to, you know, public, because sometimes the people who are behind the scene, they don't want it. And sometimes people who create perfect things, they don't have any other skills. Yes, and they don't want to be shown as people who are in a creative team working together. Sometimes people are you know, not feeling well in a crowd of people. So let people be themselves. Yes, but showing the team And the value of the team is obviously the key to success, because it's always people and the quality, as I said. So do you know?
Maybe we want to give enough time to Thorsten as well, to our third speaker. Kama, maybe we stop here at this moment, because we want to have enough time for Thorsten's presentation and then for a discussion between the three of you. But thanks so much, Kama. I think it was already very inspiring and very energetic, and with some good practical advice. So let's jump really quickly to Thorsten. So Thorsten is working for Fairstärkung, which means amplifier, but with a twist to it, because it's like a play on the word, right? With fair meaning just or sustainable in that sense. And Thorsten also supports nonprofits and social enterprises and startups with their communication. So maybe you can say a few more things about what you have done in the past, and then how, like given that many social entrepreneurs don't have these big amount of resources, especially when they start, what should they focus on in the beginning?
First is focus on turning your microphone on. So hello everybody. Yeah, I've got just 4 examples. I think I will need around 5 minutes in total, where companies or campaigns reach a lot of awareness without a lot of budget. Yeah, I don't know if any NGO here has a lot of budget. As far as I know them around Munich, they don't have. So we have to be more creative or involve our networks, something like this. So what we do with the Verstärkung in Germany, we just would like to, if you imagine when you watch the news, it's all full of shit, bombs, explosion, Corona, terror, people killing each other, I don't know, climate change. So, and on the other side, if you look at the news, you think, oh my God, I should run away or fly to the Mars or something like the Amazon guy and leave it all, because there's nothing good here. And if you talk with the people, you see there are a lot of good initiatives, but they don't have the power to get the awareness, to go to the news, to go to the German daily news show at 8 o'clock in the evening, something like this. So what we would like to do is help them get something like an open stage, like a shared stage. So for example, in Munich, we take 10 initiatives. We work with refugees, with disabled people, for women empowerment, and take them to a beer garden in Munich. And there they pitch their stories, what they are doing. 5 minutes with music. So we reach people who are out of our bubble. That's very important. And for the beginning, Karsten, as you asked me, what we did in the beginning, we started like 15 months ago. And we're not really a company, we're a collective for freelancers who say, okay, we would like to put all our working energy in the good companies, the really good companies, like no CSR stuff, really, really good. And so we said, okay, let's communicate, but we don't have a story. We just found today, what's our story? So in the end of 2020, we said, okay, let's invite the others to share their stories with us. So what we did was, in a warm winter night in a hut in forest here in Munich, we closed ourselves in, and for 10 hours, from 10 in the morning to 10 in the evening, we made Zoom interviews with 24 people from NGOs and social business companies, and just asked, okay, how was your year with Corona? What have been your plans? And then Corona came. What did it change? How did it end up? And that was really interesting, because it was a big topic for everybody, and we got really personal insights. And so the city talked, and we just gave them the platform. That was our start, and it was not like that we got 100,000 followers. That was not our target, but we get from day number one, we got a connection to the people who would like to work with. They saw, okay, they have new ideas, and they promise something, it works. We can rely on them, what they do, and we were directly in contact with them. So that was for us a perfect start, and we got the reputation from the first month. It was like a Christmas calendar, every day, one interview. It was really crazy. The film team still hates me, but in the end, it was very interesting, and some time document now. So that was our start. So
Maybe can you share the page where you published all these videos?
Yes, I have a Miro presentation in the backyard. I will give you the link.
Yeah.
And
okay.
So what I want to do now is just 4 simple examples where I was involved in or I liked. The first one, yesterday with Carsten, I had the discussion, okay, does everybody know Biene Maya? It's not important, but sure, every one of you knows a bee. Yeah, and in Germany, we had a big campaign where environmental activists wanted to change the Bavarian law, and changing the Bavarian law is one of the most crazy and impossible things you can imagine. So they needed 1 million subscribers. We only have 8 million people who are allowed to subscribe in Bavaria, and they had 14 days in January where it was -10 degrees in front of the town hall. So it was really impossible. Everybody said, okay, forget it. Yeah, it doesn't work. And what they got, it was a very complex topic. You know, the law, and there are paragraphs and details and science stuff, and it can really get boring if you aren't a freak in this science or law stuff. So they said, okay, it's really complicated about environment, and 10.5% there and 20.3% there, and impact in 40 years. Totally complex. And in the end, they just said, let's save the bee. And that was something everybody had a relation to. And that's very important in your communication, because sometimes it's not that easy. You don't have this McDonald's marketing topics. Yeah, it's really, really live topics. We are talking about people and problems, and it's not always funny. But I think one very important point for every initiative, every social business, is break it down to easy images. Yeah. And when they said, okay, let's save the bee, and later they say, let's save the birds, and let's save, I don't know, the butterfly, but this worked out. And in the end, they had 1.8 million subscribers, and it was the most important, the most successful campaign ever in Germany. Yeah. And it inspired a lot of other campaigns everywhere in Europe. So number 1, the bee. Number 2, the chocolate. Yeah, we had some copyright issues, so I just take no pictures. I just painted them. Anyone of you know the company Fairstärker? Have you heard of it?
No.
Kama, Fairstärker. What are they doing in one sentence?
Fairstärker, yeah.
I think different things. I don't know. The something for like food. Yeah.
Okay, I will explain you. The challenge was they want to build up a chocolate company. And not like Lindt or Nestle or Milka or I don't know, Twix, I don't know what there. Because what the big companies are doing is they're taking the cacao out of Africa, and then the whole production is in Europe. So in Africa, there's only 5% of the total income from chocolate is in the country where the chocolate is originated. So they said, it was a guy from Munich, okay, I will build up a chocolate factory in Ghana. And everybody said, okay, Henrik, you're totally crazy. So no money, no budget. And then they started a campaign. They framed the market. And they made something, I will write it in the chat because it's a little bit complicated. It was decolonize chocolate. Was their hashtag. And then people said, hey, are you crazy? What is chocolate with colonization? I don't. And then they started to explain, yes, it had a lot to do with colonization. And so people were talking about a new framing because nobody before thought. And then the media got on it. They produced a movie. They did 10 crowdfundings, not 2, 10. In total, more than €1 million. And all the 10 crowdfundings succeeded. So at the moment, they have their factory. They are giving jobs to the local people. They, they engage the people to build their own factories there, and they're trying to build a second one now. Very interesting, very impactful, and very smart in the communication way. Number 3. I hope my drawing is okay. So this is a tampon, and this is a caviar. Yeah. And in Germany, we had a brand, it's called Einhorn. They're very famous because first they made vegan condoms, and now they made female products or period products. And they said there's such a lack of education in schools. People, or the pupils, they don't know about their bodies, they don't know about period, they know nothing. Yeah. So they said, okay, let's make our own products, fair, sustainable and with educational impact. But how to do if there are the big companies like, I don't know who's in the maybe Unilever and the other, they have their brands. So how do you go in the market when there are the how you say the mega brands, yeah, and you don't get the wins? So what they did that was very clever, they found out that in Germany we have a tax, like value-added tax. I think you have same in your countries, and it was 19% on tampon, and it was 7% on caviar. So they said, why is a daily product every woman has to buy, or almost every woman has to buy? It's called a luxury product. It's just, you can't decide. Yeah, period, it's not luxury, they said. And so they started a political campaign and brought it to the German government and reached, I don't know, 180,000 signatures and a lot of media coverage. So everybody was debating about it, and that was really, really smart. And it worked out because they, in the background, they have a good network with some magazines and bloggers and everything. But that was really, really good, just to use democratic instruments to get some educational stuff and to present their brand, because now they have some products. Last one. That's us. You know this guy, maybe? I think it's a guy because it's so ugly to us. It's one of the most difficult challenges to work with Corona, because everyone has an opinion, everyone's afraid of something. There's in the society, it's really ugly in Germany at the moment, what's going on. So you can't really make fun of it. You can't really go this side, that side. You will annoy people. And that was the base, but everybody has a story on it. Still, after 2 years, everybody can tell something about my Corona experience. This was the base of us. I told you with the Fairstärker, it was a year review, yeah. And so we had really serious content, not just marketing stuff or cat content or food porn. Yeah, hey, I'm eating, yoo-hoo, 100 likes. So we just decided for the Fairstärker, we don't want to present ourselves in the first line. We just would like to give the stage to the people who really do the good work, but don't have the capabilities to communicate very well. Yeah, and this was the impulse, and we are now doing it for 15 months, and it works out really nice. In the summer, we've been to the Open Cinema in Munich, presenting a video with 26 initiatives, where they just said, okay, I'm engaging me because of, that was it. And so if people can participate, it really works fine in our case.
Thanks so much.
Yeah,
these are really some interesting cases. So before we have a quick discussion, I want to ask if anyone has a specific question to Kristina, Thorsten, or Karma about a specific communication question, or even you can introduce yourself and say what you are and what you find challenging to do in your own communication on social media or traditional media. If there's anything you would like to share, more than happy, just unmute yourself. I know we have a lot of people who are working on communications in the background as well. Okay, then, as I said, feel free to unmute yourself. Maybe, Wolfgang, do you have a question to one of the speakers? Otherwise,
no, not from the chat and not from the LinkedIn, but in general to the three speakers. Like, what is like now we Corona is there for a while, and so we are also a little bit getting used to it, let's say, and everything is moving to online and Zooms. So is there a strategy like to reach people in this forest of Zoom conferences and calls and everything else? So because I have the feeling that the time and also the stress is getting bigger, and everything is a little bit tougher at the time. So do you have tips or do you have learnings from the last 1 or 2 years that how to dive through this and reach people in these hard times? So maybe also in your countries.
Meet face to face. This is the only solution.
Yeah. So, but Kama, how is that possible though? Like sometimes, for instance, you know, I mean, there's like certain limits to face-to-face, not just because of Corona, but also because of the energy and time that you need to invest. I mean, how do you make, you know, in these times, how do you make face-to-face meetings really meaningful and successful?
So now I'm running about 15 projects. I'm managing about 15 projects, some of which cannot be conducted online. So believe me that after the long period of being in Zoom and behind the screen, we realized the project in the Polish mountains within 4 countries, and the musicians with it from 4 countries came. And we had so much energy and we were so enthusiastic about working together live, you know. Of course, the part of my project is also working afterwards through the technical, you know, tools and creating music online. But believe me, nothing, any Zoom, any team meets, whatever, can replace the energy that is passed between people, instruments, you know, between real situations in which we are. Obviously, you know, I'm not criticizing Zooms and stuff because it's opened. I see it as not as a challenge, but as something that was great and innovative tool for my my work, because now I can do more. I can the coronavirus and the Zoom era opened new possibilities for my business. So I'm very, very grateful for that. But in my opinion, nothing would ever replace the real communication and energy between people.
Okay, Thorsten, what do you think? Yeah, go ahead.
Yeah, I have the same. But somehow we are forced to work under the circumstances that they are. 2 years ago, everybody was excited. Oh, I can Zoom with my grandmother and something, and it was really crazy. And now the people are tired. So in Germany, I give Zoom trainings, how to survive in video meetings and something. But but what we learned is a lot of NGOs and social business, they have problems to get their teams connected now just online, because sometimes there are new people and they didn't have seen at all in personality. So for things like today, it's perfect, I think, because where else can I connect with people from all over Europe for just 2 hours, and I can go with my bicycle here, meet you, and then drive home. But what we learned, especially this year or 2021, we really should put effort in meeting each other in reality. So what we do is just, for example, making workshops outside, trying to find places where you just have a roof and it's open, or going to the beer garden with the people. Just, it's not like before, but we have to find ways. And online, what we have learned is, because there is a so-called drop rate, I don't know, 100 people say, okay, I will come, 30 are there. And what helps sometimes is just to give it a little price, like €5 participants fee, something like this. So it's more and
for attending.
Yes.
Okay.
And then try to get the people you know personally, because then you can say, okay, tomorrow will you be there, something like this. But this you invite on LinkedIn and 2,000 people will come. I think that was for 2 months in 2020, and that's over now.
Okay. Kristina, what is your point on, or your opinion about this?
Well, I definitely do agree that personal communication face-to-face is a lot, and it means a lot to everybody. But I have to say that choosing the right and relevant topic and presenting it in the right way to the audience is a way to get audience also online. I think it's still possible, especially because you are bombed with so much content online and a lot of opportunities for online education and so on. So I think the formula is trying to stand out in some way. We have an interesting example from ZES, from Green Energy Cooperative, where I work. We have in 2020 and 2021 done a good energy tour. So we travel to Croatian cities to promote solar energy through direct communication to citizens. And this at first included face-to-face workshops. And in every city, we would gather a group of people. And of course, this was very nice. But since we were doing this in the time of Corona, at some points when a lot of people got, I can't remember the word. There were a lot of people who couldn't come face-to-face to the event. There was a need to do the workshop online. And then we would do the workshop online, and at times more people would show up online than offline. People were giving us feedback that they simply can't come to the workshop at some days, at some hours. So it was good for them to have this alternative. And I think also a lot of there is a population maybe who is not maybe that in the business tech world and so on, who is using the Zoom so much or has been so far, but has now became familiar with it. And I think for them, this is they're now seeing this maybe as an alternative to meeting online when they can't meet face to face. So I think it's also still good to use it. Yeah, try to be valuable, you know.
Well, I wanted to thank you all for you know, sharing your stories, because that's what I learned in these projects. Is it's so interesting to hear the stories, what people actually do, and sometimes the circumstances are so similar, even though that maybe the topics that we work on are slightly different. But you know, the challenges I think are the same, and it's good to see these examples that you mentioned on how people were really creative in overcoming these challenges. And I want to thank you all, Kristina, Thorsten, and Karma, also for the great energy you are bringing to this, and you know, positive attitude, and for taking the time to be here today. So and to the participants, everybody, thank you for your chat. I would say we will hopefully see each other again at the last webinar, which we were having on the 7th of February, where we talk about the European Social Action Plan and how it can be implemented. This is a little bit more policy-oriented topic, but hopefully it will be very interesting as well. And then we will organize a final conference also in March this year of the whole project, where we, of course, invite you all to join. Yes, so thank you very much. Anja, do you want to say final words to everyone?
No, just like you said, like, thank you for joining us on this discussion. And I'm always happy when we have somebody from the field to find out some interesting examples. So, and also maybe, as Kristina said, maybe we are fed up with the online meetings and so on. But when you have the right energy like today, doesn't bother me at all. Not online. So it's a person, it's energy, and like Kama said, honesty, and it should work as well. Good. So
yes, and you know, what a challenge for us to talk for 10 minutes about effective communication.
Yes.
Wow. I think we were successful.
Thank you, everyone.
Good
Bye-bye.
closure. Thank you.
Have a nice day.
Thank
Bye.
you. Bye.